Today I'm going to show you how to make the square tunnel animation in After Effects. We start off by creating a text layer and then type in our text. Then we create some duplications and then stack it underneath each other. We'll then put the text layer into a composition. After we've got our text sorted, we'll go to Effects, Distort, and then CC Power Pin. With this effect we'll be able to create some perspective within our composition and the final animation. For this animation I created a simple perspective grid. I found a perspective grid on Google and then I just traced over it and then made it fit within the composition. What I'm doing now is using the CC Power Pin anchor points to match the perspective grid. I'm also using the expansion values on the CC Power Pin to fit nicely within the perspective grid lines. After we've done the first one, we'll duplicate the composition and then repeat the process with the other three sides of the perspective grid. Most people will probably approach this by using 3D layers, but I thought it was quite interesting to create this same kind of animation using CC Power Pin because you can easily create the same perspective and you don't exactly need to go into 3D cameras. And yeah, I just feel like CC Power Pin in general is quite a useful effect to use. So we're pretty much finished with all sides of the square, and now we need to move on to the animation of the text. We'll duplicate the text once. We then move the anchor point to the right side of the text. Press S for scale. We make a keyframe at the start of 100, and then further down the timeline we put the width of the scale to 0. We then add some ease into the keyframes. We start by using some easy ease and then we move the anchor points close together. Once we've done that, then we're going to animate the scale on the text transform properties, go to animate, and then all transform properties, and then we find the scale, and then we're going to put the width of the scale to 0. We're going to start with the offset at -100, and then we'll add a keyframe, and then further down the timeline we'll add another keyframe at 100. What we want to do now is go to the advanced settings on the text transform properties, and then we're going to change the shape to smooth. This is going to create a smoother flow to the animation. Once we've done that, then we're going to repeat the process with the other text layer. We can duplicate the text from the other animation and then we can swap the keyframes around. It's just a case of using anchor point on the left side instead of the right, because at the moment we have the anchor point on the right side. We also have to start the keyframes from 0 scale to 100. So it's the reverse of the last animation. I'm just adjusting the keyframe so the easing is the same throughout, and I use ease copy for this. So after the first animation animates out, then the second animation will come in and it will basically create a loop cycle. So at the moment we have the animation like this and everything goes on at the same time, but we kind of want each side of the perspective grid to play out at different times, so it's a sequence. We're going to create a delayed effect with the compositions, and we're going to also use freeze frames for the start of each composition so that it can stagger. Another way to do this is probably to go through time remapping, but this is the process I went through for this animation. After we've gone through the freeze frame process, then we will have the final animation. I hope you found this tutorial useful in some way, and I'm going to bring a lot more of these in the future. So yeah, have a good day and see you in the next one.